Am I the asshole for calling out my husband in front of his boss over his lie? Last Friday my father had a heart attack. It was touch and go for about 48 hours, but he pulled through and is expected to be discharged from the hospital today or tomorrow. I took off of work last Friday, but due to my dad's condition is improving, I did go into work today. I work from home right now for obvious reasons, and around 9:30 the door opens and my husband walks in. I ask what he's doing home and he says that due to the winter storm his boss sent everyone home. I went down to the basement around lunchtime to get a pizza to make for us. I didn't realize he was on the phone or that it was on speaker when I went down there and asked if he wanted pizza for lunch. His boss then asked how my father was doing, and said that my husband told him that it was dire and I would need to leave at a moment's notice. I said that my dad's condition is improving and he is expected to make a full recovery. My husband is now pissed at me. The reason he came home is because he apparently lied to his boss about my dad's health and condition, and because of what I said he's now in hot water at work. My husband said I should have kept my mouth shut and if he gets fired it's on me. I told him he was depraved for lying about something like that, and if he's in trouble it's his own fault. Am I the asshole for not playing along with his lie? Edit. Thank you for all of your comments. I am sorry that I didn't respond to all of you, there is just too many. I would like to answer the following. 1. When I went to the basement to get the pizza, I had no idea he was on the phone. His boss, who is also a friend of ours, overheard me ask about the pizza and then asked about my dad. 2. I did not realize my husband told his boss that my dad was still in bad condition until he mentioned it. It caught me off guard and I panicked and didn't want to lie. I don't like lying to people. If my husband had told me when he came home that he said this to him, I would have said something vague. 3. I did have a chance to talk to his boss's wife today, and explained that when he called I was exhausted and stressed out and was not thinking straight. My husband is in no danger of being fired. They are more concerned about my dad and just want to make sure we are okay. 4. I am the breadwinner in our household. His job is for fun, money and vacations. 5. Yes, my husband is a chronic liar, and reading through some of the posts it seems that he gaslights me a lot. That will either be addressed in therapy or through a divorce if he refuses to go. Not the asshole. 1. How could you know that he lied? If he wanted you to play along he should have let you know. 2. That's a really cruddy thing to use your father's health as an excuse to get out of work. 3. Maybe stop getting food for your husband if that's the response you get. What a child. Edit. Thanks for the silver, kind people. Not the asshole. It's on him, he lied to you and his boss, and not you that you didn't play along for him. Glad to hear your dad is expected to recover fully. Not the asshole. If he gets fired, it's on him. He lied to you and his boss, didn't tell you about the lie to his boss but still expected you to cover for him when his boss asked after your dad's health. Expected you to lie about your dad's health? Sorry, but your husband is a massive using your dad's condition to skirt his work responsibilities for a day off. Not the asshole. 1. You are not responsible for your husband's lies. 2. You are even less responsible when he doesn't tell you he's caught in a lie. 3. If your husband was even a halfway decent liar, he could have gotten out of it by saying that the recovery was happening after he left work or some nonsense. Not the asshole. Your husband is a moron. 1. He shouldn't have lied to his boss like this. And if he gets fired he deserves it. 2. And if he did lie, the idiot should have had the sense to tell you about it so you'd be careful. How the hell were you supposed to know not to say anything to his boss? 3. And then he throws a tantrum when he gets caught. What a child. Not the asshole. He's blaming you when it's his fault. What's with dudes expecting women to be psychic and unethical? This is the second, my husband is mad I won't lie to back up his lie, post I've seen in 24 hours. Not the asshole. But also, a dude who asks you to lie for him to his boss to cover a lie is probably doing other unethical things. Why are you married? Not the asshole. First and foremost, that is great news that your father is expected to make a full recovery. Your husband, on the other hand, deserves whatever he gets because of his lie. How were you supposed to know that he lied? Has he done things like this before? Why didn't he tell his boss the truth that your father was recovering? If he wanted to spend time at home because he wanted to be your emotional support, he should have been honest with both of you. Not the asshole, but your husband is a lying, uncaring, gaslighting jackass. Has he done crap like this before? So, your husband lies to his boss. Then he lies to you. Then the boss asks you a question, and you answer truthfully. But your husband thinks you're in the wrong. Because you didn't back him up on his lie. Because you didn't know the lie was out there, because he lied to you. Seems lying comes easy to him. Wonder what else been lying about. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but your husband sure is for a lying to work and using your father to get out of work when the issue is already resolved, b lying to you about it, and c blaming you for him getting caught in his lies. Not the asshole. He lied. More than once. This lead to him getting caught. His lies are what would owe to his job loss, not you. Also, dick move using your dad's health. I'm not overly one for karma etc. But I'd be mad at the idea of him tempting fate. That said, you didn't seem to suggest you mentioned any kind of timeline to his boss, so he could, and by the sounds of it probably would, lie again and say he didn't know you'd just been contacted before going to the basement. Honestly, I'd be more pissed about his using my dad's health for his own benefit, and lying to me, than the fact he lied to his boss and blamed me for getting caught. Info. You are married, right? Do you share finances? You're NTA, but if he gets fired, won't that have an impact on you as well? I don't know that I'd jeopardize my husband's job over this when I could have talked to him about it later. No, not the asshole, but he may very well lose his job. Not the asshole. So you're dealing with your dad going through a health crisis, and your husband uses this as an opportunity to use you as an excuse to get out of work, lie to you about it, and then get angry at you and claim it's somehow magically your fault if he gets fired. Gonna put this here just in case. You are the asshole. Don't get me wrong, your husband shouldn't be lying, but the lie doesn't affect you here. Undermining your spouse to their boss shows you do not respect your husband, nor did you give him a chance to explain why he did it. Note to self. Include wife in lie. Everyone sucks here. 1. Me and my wife work at home and I would never interrupt my wife in the middle of conversation with her boss. I don't care what the lie was. I would confront it later and address it with him 1v1 because what you did served no purpose other than to be an ass and you didn't read the room. I always ask people at that moment, what are you hoping to accomplish and did you think it through? 2. He sucks for lying to his boss. I don't condone it, but he was more than likely trying to milk his company for more time off, and that is it. He should have told you. Long story short, just address it afterwards. You were out of line for correcting during a meeting with his boss and he is an ass for milking your tragedy. Info. What's the timeline here? From touch and go to release out of the woods seems very quick in your recount. Less than a week from an MI that leaves your dad. Touch and go for 2 days isn't everything is fine. It sounds less like a lie and more like you have different opinions to recently discharged after a major heart issue means. Info. Did you realize the lie he told as you were asked by his boss? I know it's easy to play dumb and say, I didn't realize cause he didn't tell me, but really, did you knowingly tell on him to his boss at that exact second? Intent is everything, and yes, he was the asshole for not telling you, and yes, he was the asshole for lying to his boss, but if you noticed that you were going to say something your husband didn't want you to, and you chose to say it anyway, even in that split-second decision, you would still be the asshole as well. You are the asshole. Are you kidding me? You don't have your own husband's back. Maybe he needed a day off. Maybe he just wanted a calm afternoon, a mental health moment. Do you not notice how much stress everyone is under right now? I would never be in a relationship with someone who couldn't handle the subtle clue to back me up and give me the benefit of the doubt. I gather you spend a lot of time trying to one-up people and prove how right and virtuous you are. Not the asshole. Your husband is a grown-ass man who instrumentalized your father's health issues for personal gain without telling you. Absolutely not the asshole. I don't feel like this is so cut and dry. He obviously didn't think the father was still in dire condition. He needed to get home because the weather was unsafe, and wouldn't have been sent otherwise. If my partner was lying, I would just back her up until we were in private and could have the convo necessary. I have my partner's back no matter what. It wouldn't have taken a lot to figure it out what was going on in the moment. Sue. I think Op just might be ta. If he wanted you to be on board with this, he could have asked you, told you, hey, I said this at work, now you got blindsided by his actions. Not the asshole. You are the asshole. You earned nothing in speaking up while he was on the phone with his boss. Secondly, unless the boss asked you directly, you shouldn't have said anything in the first place. And so what if he lied to his boss in employment? Fuck that capitalist thinking. His boss and employment lost nothing by having him leave for the day. This is your husband. If you don't back him up against his boss and work, you're probably an already pedantic, unreliable partner. Glad your father is pulling through. You are the asshole. Once the boss told you what your hubby said, you should have found a way to either dodge the question, the same, or cover for hubby. Then you can have your conversation with hubby about why he lied to you and his boss. First of all, I'm very glad to hear that your father is improving and wish him the best in recovery. This one puzzles me a little bit, so I'm going to say that you're not the asshole. Your husband was wrong to lie, and 100% should not have told you that if he was sacked it would be on you. He should have just told the truth to his boss. You are the asshole and your husband is being one too. You could have called him out after he got off the phone. He was wrong to lie, but that was pretty messed up to put him in that position with his boss. You've never stretched the truth to come home. I agree it was messed up for him to lie to you and his boss, but he's your husband. Have the argument in private, don't get him fired. Not the asshole. Did he actually say you should have kept your mouth shut? Because that is a really fucked up and in my opinion borderline threatening way of speaking that's absolutely unacceptable in any sort of relationship, let alone a marriage. Your husband lied to his employer and then he lied to you. 100% not the asshole, op. Sounds like he deliberately withheld telling you the actual reason he was off because he knew you would blow up. That would make him even more depraved. Your hubby is sick, op. You are the asshole. What he says to his boss doesn't matter to you in the slightest. If your husband is that sick of his slave job, you should support him. Your father will not get more sick by you shilling for your husband's boss. Step 1. Lie to boss. Step 2. Lie to wife. Step 3. Blame wife for exposure of lie to boss because she believed lie to her. Unfucking believable. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. He used your father's heart attack, I hope he is better, as a scapegoat to leave work and chill out at home. Bullshit. You are the asshole. You can be pissed at him, but you sold him out to someone outside the family. Omerta is real. Not the asshole, so he told Op one lie about the snowstorm. Then he told his boss another lie about OP's father. Reddest of flags. Lying about someone's health and saying it is dire, which implies life-threatening, is beyond messed up. That kinda thing will reap bad karma for him. Personally, I'd take a long hard look at my partner if they lied on a loved one like that. Not the asshole. Your husband shouldn't expect you get involved in his lies. You didn't go out of your way to expose him, you simply answered truthfully when asked. What was even the purpose of lying to Op? It's one thing to lie to the boss sometimes, depending on the situation sometimes it's necessary. It's quite another to lie to your spouse, especially for no good reason, about nothing really important. I hate to be the red flag person, but there's some big, shiny red ones flying around here. This couple needs to figure out what is going on in their relationship that made this happen. Not the asshole, because every felonious motherfucker knows you get your damn stories straight with your partner in crime, or life, before you talk to anyone else. Not the asshole. I can understand needing a mental health day, after going through what you guys went through this weekend. However, what should have happened is a discussion beforehand. All he had to say is, hey, I'm still really stressed from this weekend and need downtime. I'm going to talk to boss about the situation being a bit worse than it is to get the day off to recover. I mean, I hated my job so badly that I told them things like that to get out of work. So, I understand where he is coming from. It's definitely not a good thing to lie about or lie at all, but saying that kind of stuff will definitely get you out of work. However, you are not the asshole in any way, shape or form. Maybe if he told you then you about his fib and then you purposely threw him under the bus, maybe. Actually, I guess even in that scenario I would say you're not the asshole. He lied and your father on death's door, not his own father. You're in the clear and your husband is a child that needs to learn how to take responsibility for his actions. Actions have consequences. Not the asshole. My husband said I should have kept my mouth shut and if he gets fired it's on me. What a slimy and manipulative thing to say. If his boss fires him, it's because your husband lied and showed as an employee he cannot be trusted. He is the problem, not you. Husband is blame shifting. Don't fall for it, op. Grown adult who won't take responsibility for his actions. Definitely the asshole. Not the asshole lying to you and his boss in the first place was bad enough. He shouldn't blame you if he has consequences for the lie. Not the asshole, your husband is. Quite the character, to pull a stunt like that. He dug this hole on his own, not your fault he got in trouble. Not the asshole. Of course you're not the but when shit hits the fan and your husband loses his job, don't be surprised when he's upset with you. Not the asshole, I can't believe he used your father condition to have a day off, and then had the nerves to blame you for that. Not the asshole. He lied, he got caught, and it's somehow your fault. Does your husband make a habit of blaming you for his screw-ups? You suck and are a big asshole. Why did you not choose to keep your mouth shut? Your husband is a minor ass for his lying to his boss. I hope this is a fake. However, you are the asshole. Not the asshole. Knock knock. Who's there? The actions of your own consequences. Info. Were you aware of the situation when you answered truthfully? Not the asshole. How could you play along when your husband lied to you too? I get people lie to their bosses and will often say family members are sick, but I see no reason why he would keep it from you. If he would have came home and said something along the lines of, was having a bad day and just needed to get out of there, so I said your dad was doing badly so I could come home, would you have played along then? I imagine you would have played along. Whether you would have wanted to or not is another question altogether, but that would be between you and your husband. You're right. He's wrong. Not the asshole. What is the deal with grown people not being able to accept that if they get caught in a lie they told, it's entirely on them? Is your husband typically this bad at taking responsibility for his actions? Because if so, my condolences. Also, I'm glad it looks like your dad is going to be okay. Sending my hopes for a quick and complete recovery.